Hello guys, welcome back. So till our last session we have completed our end-to-end pipeline and we got the data into our SQL data warehouse, and from there we pulled the data into Power BI for reporting and visualization. Now the next step is to deploy the same project onto Hadoop cluster. Till now we developed it on our local Windows machine. Now it is time to deploy the same on our Hadoop cluster. Now first let's see what are the few small changes that we need to make in our project in order to run the same jobs on actual Spark cluster. So we will be running this in Spark Yarn cluster mode. Hence it is best if we can remove this master argument. Next, what we have to do, the config file path. As you can see right now we are giving the relative path from inside the project directory, and on the cluster we can go ahead with that, but at least we should have freedom to execute the jobs from anywhere. So we have to give the absolute path for this config.ini. Right now I am not giving because there is no point, because if I give the absolute path related to my Windows machine, there is no point of giving that because we are going to run in cluster. So once we push this job to our cluster, then we will make these changes. And another change what I am going to make is regarding the step where we access our GK functions file, because this is the GK functions file where we actually read the schema, convert that from string to struct type schema. So all my functions are there in this. Right now I am accessing again from a relative directory of project. I don't want to do that. I'll remove this. Ignore this error for right now. Once I push this into production cluster, then I will tell you how we can access this GK functions. So watch these steps very carefully. Now this entire project is inside my dpycharm GK stores pipeline directory. So you can go ahead and go to same directory. This is my directory. So this is what I have to copy onto my server or Hadoop cluster, you can say. So as I have told, for this course right now I am using the HDP cluster, that is Hortonworks distributed platform. So let me go ahead and start my Hadoop cluster. I've already set up my Hortonworks cluster. If you have not done yet, you can refer my Hortonworks setup video, then you will get the similar environment. Now let me power it on. Start. This might take quite some time depending upon the configuration of your machine on which you are running this, because this is pretty much heavy cluster. But even when you see this screen, you are fine to log into this cluster, but probably the backend services will still be starting. So let us see what we have. I'll access the cluster. Just you have to make a note of this IP. In my case, it is 192.168.0.108. So let me access the Ambari URL. Ambari port is by default 8080. So this is my Ambari UI. Again, for setting the admin username and password, I have mentioned all the steps in my HDP setup video. So use the same credentials and sign in. Now you can say right now all the services as red. Red means stopped. But do not worry or do not try to start them. You can click on right side sandbox, this gear icon. Here you can see start services. So as I told, you might be able to log into the cluster, but still some backend service will be starting up. So let us wait for this and let us see what all services get started. So you can see we did got some kind of red warning. So this might happen because Ambari tries to start all the services on your machine, but in case there are some resource issues or there are some errors, few services will start, few will skip. So this is not important. We are not going to debug those infrastructure related errors, because that usually happens when we are running the environment on local, because there are less resources. So ignoring this, let's see what actually got started, and we will start whatever we need right now. Those tools, if they are not started, we will start manually just for the sake of resources. So click on OK. So on the left we can see couple of things are green now and a couple of things are red. So let's see what all things. HDFS we need, yarn, MapReduce we need this, and this is already started, so we are fine. Hive we don't need right now. Zookeeper, let it be started. InfraSolar, I don't need it. It is still running, but we don't have any use of InfraSolar. So I'll stop this just in the interest of having some resources while we run the job. So click on InfraSolar. On the top right, you can see Actions button. Click on this and click on Stop. Confirm stop. It is stopped. Click OK. What else? Kafka. We don't need Kafka right now. So again, stop. Okay. And Ranger also we don't need. Stop. So what else? Spark for sure we need. So let me, you can see this is not started. Let me go and start it. Fine. So Spark is started. Okay, so all that we need is right now started. Now let's connect to this node 192.168, the actual Hadoop cluster node, and copy our jobs to the server. So to connect to this node, you can use either PuTTY, or if you are using the Linux operating system on your local, as right now you can see I am using the Windows. If you are using Linux, you can use the SSH. For the Mac also you have same option. For Windows you have multiple options like Cygwin and PuTTY as well as PowerShell. So PowerShell is handy here. Let me connect with the PowerShell only. Now to connect to Hortonworks cluster, what you have to do, this by default runs on port 2222. So to connect to this, you have to do SSH. The command will be same for Linux and Mac as well. SSH, then the username. Let me log in with root. And after you have to mention the IP address of the Hadoop node. In my case, it is 192.168.0.108, as I told here. Okay, and my port will be 2222. So this is the command you need to issue from your local machine. Press enter. Now you have to give the username and password. You have to use the same password that you have set while configuring the HDP cluster. So I'll enter the same password and I am already logged in. So here you can see the root. First one, this is the user from which you have logged in. As I mentioned the root here. So I am logged in as root, and this is the server name, that is Sandbox HDP. Now to copy anything from local machine to your server, to any Unix or Linux server, you can use SCP. So right now this HDP Sandbox is running on CentOS. CentOS is one distribution of Linux. To check that, you have a file inside /etc directory. Inside that all the information regarding OS is there. It is something like release. You can read that file and get the version. So right now you can see CentOS 7 we are using. So now for putting any file to this system from my local machine, I can use the command scp. And make sure you have to run this command from the host machine from which you are trying to put the files. So right now I am inside my HDP Sandbox already. So I have to issue this command from my local. So what I can do, I can open another PowerShell. I can go to same directory where I had all my projects. So I had all my projects inside PyCharm projects and GK stores pipeline. Let me go inside this. I'll copy the path from here and cd paste. Now let's see, list ls. I have to copy this to my server. So pwd is for present working directory. To list, these are the files as of now. So let me copy this directory from my local. You can see d underscore, this is my local machine, and this is the sandbox. So I can issue the command scp hyphen capital P. For scp you have to give the port first and with the capital P option. So port was 2222 and hyphen R is for directory. Which directory, in case directory will have multiple folders and files. So to recursively copy we have to give hyphen R. What we have to copy, then give the folder name. So we have to copy the GKC stores pipeline. So I pressed tab, that's why it automatically detected. In your case, in case you are using Unix or Linux, you can also press GK and press tab, it will automatically detect. or normally you can copy and paste here. There is no issue, all the things are same. Then we have to give the destination, same as we logged in. So our destination was the sandbox, HTTP sandbox. For logging into there, we have to give first the username, that is root @ then the IP 192.168.0.108. Then you have to give the path where you want to copy on the server, like on this server, in which path you want to copy the GK stores pipeline. So let's say for now I will copy inside root and press enter. Then it will ask for the password for the HTTP sandbox. Give the password and press enter. So you can see all the files will get copied onto same directory. Now let me go back to HTTP sandbox. We copied it inside the root. Let me list it here. You can see this folder is copied. Similar way, you can copy all the folders that you like. Then as this is the first time setup of this project, we also have to ensure that we have all the inputs and output directories as well. Because let's suppose this is the first day or when we are going to deploy our GKC stores pipeline onto our production cluster. At that point of time, the input and output directories, all the data that business is giving, that is not going to exist, right? So what we will do, we will create the input and output location in the same format as we had here. For our entire tutorial, you have seen we have one input file, we have all these folders, then we have output directories with all these folders, enriched, hold and valid. So you have two options. Either you can make a shell script that runs and creates all the directories inside your HDFS, or we have another option. What we can do, we already have the input and output folder structure. So what we can do, we can copy this entire directory as it is into our HDFS. So automatically it will have all the inputs and outputs. So let me do the same as we have done for GK Codeless pipeline. We have moved all the code to our HDP cluster. Let me do the same for the actual folder structure. This is another folder that we need to copy onto our server. So I have copied the same directory all inside my, also I have copied the GK stores pipeline directory also as well in home, just to have both of them in same directory. In the actual production projects, this can depend upon your project design. You can get it from your team where actually your code exists, where all the files are, but there will be some directory where you will have your project existing. And all my input and output, I have moved the same directory here and renamed it as GKC store workspace. So inside this, you can go CD, you can see we have all the same structure. Also, if you want to list it recursively, you can mention ls-l, this R you can make as capital. This will be recursive. So you can see all the directories we have. SRC, inside SRC, main, in main we have Python, project configs, everything as we have built here. Now let's do a clear, just to clear the screen. Now important thing to note here is this GKC workspace directory. This has to exist in HDFS, but this is still in my local Linux server. Just make a note that this local storage is local to my Linux environment, or you can say my edge node or the gateway node. HDFS service is running no matter on this server only, but this is still not in HDFS. And Spark is going to read all the files and folders from the HDFS. So we have to push this in HDFS. To push that in HDFS, you can mention the command hdfs dfs -put. As I have told in my Linux basics tutorial, the put command you can use to put anything from local environment to HDFS. So hdfs dfs -put this, and then you can give the HDFS path. So I'll put it directly into my root directory of HDFS. So I'll mention / here. I already have the same structure in my HDFS, so I'll cancel it. But let me show you inside HDFS the same structure that I have. To access HDFS, either you can issue the command hdfs dfs -ls and then the directory that you want to list. So you can see all the directories you will get. Or the another option you have is go to Ambari. Inside you can go to HDFS. From HDFS, you can go to name node UI. You have to give the IP address, the exact IP address. So I am accessing it from my Windows. So ignore it for now. Just give the IP address 192.168.0.108. You can see you can access this. Now you go to utilities and browse file system. Here you can see I have put the same directory structure as I had in my local Linux and local Windows environment. To open this, you can click on this. You can see inputs and outputs. Inputs have all the sales landing USD as we have there, and outputs you can see all three directories. Hold, we had a few runs in my local, so I had the same directory here when I pushed. So it's fine, as currently we have mentioned the current day's prefix as 5/6. So you can see till 4th we have, it's fine. Same is for valid, we have data till 4th. So 5th run we can still execute. In vendors, vendor enriched, we don't have anything, it's fine. Now as we discuss few changes, now let us go to our config file first. That is the first that has to be taken care. Our config file is again in the same directory as we have copied the same structure, project configs, and let me cat this. Here we have changed all the input and output directories as per this particular Linux environment. Let me show you that. Config.ini, where you can see the input location. In our case earlier, that was the Windows directory where we had the inputs and outputs, but now we have to give the exact one that is in HDFS. So we just copied in GKC stores workspace, then inputs, and workspace outputs. So these two things we have changed inside our config.ini. Then for schema, everything will be same, there is no change. So that's it. And also, if you remember, we have removed the src reference from the gk functions file. The reason for that is, let me go to the Python folder. Our gk function file is still here, but the reason that we have removed that source reference is when we are going to submit the first job, this is going to be read by the Spark driver, and as we will be running the Spark jobs in cluster mode, the driver will not be there on my local. Correct? In that case, if we give the relative path, this gk functions.py might not be accessible by the other jobs. In that case, these jobs are going to fail. So for the same reason, PySpark provides us facility to provide some of the Python files that might be required by the other jobs which are actually running on the cluster. So that can be accessed by --py files argument. So what we are going to do, we will pass this Python file which has all the functions that might be used by many other jobs. We will pass this file as py files, and then we will submit this job. Hope you are getting the reason why we are passing the functions file as py files. And once any file is passed with py files, we don't have to give the source reference. We can directly access it as it is. So that's why I have removed, and the gk functions we can directly access in case this particular job is submitted as the command which has py files argument with this actual file. Okay. So once we trigger the job, it will get more clear to you. Now let's go to our home directory, and I have come to this directory just to show you that we can run the jobs from any of the folders. So right now let's submit it manually and see if our jobs are running. In the coming session, we will see how we can schedule the jobs automatically using Apache Airflow. So just to test, let's try to run one of the job. The command would be spark-submit, and the master we have to use as yarn, and the deploy mode we are running in cluster mode, so we can mention the same deploy mode cluster. Then as I told, we have to mention the py files, so -py files, and the py files would be where we have our py files inside home GKC stores, where it is pipeline. I am pressing tab because the files are here, so it can automatically detect. GK stores pipeline src main python gk functions.py. Then with the space, then we can give the actual job that we are going to run. So let me give the first job that we had. So it was in home, gkc stores, pipeline, src, main, python. Let me run this first job, daily data ingest. So if I press D, tab, yeah. So this will be the command. Let me try to trigger it. Just first let's see inside our yarn are all jobs are running or what is the scene. So to see yarn UI, you can go to yarn and go to resource manager UI. Again the same thing, you have to pass the IP address. This will be the yarn UI. To see the application status, you can go to applications. So we don't have any applications right now. So this is the old UI of yarn, and the new UI you can access with UI2 as a context root. So let me try to submit that. Just on enter. You can see the state is accepted. Let's go back to yarn, refresh. Here you can see the Spark daily data ingest, the first job that we submitted has come here and it is in accepted state. It is 0% right now. Let's wait for it and let's see if this works. Just keep in mind that right now we are running for current day as 5th and we don't have any data for 5th in our output folders. You have already removed it. Just refresh. You can see this is finished. What this job does, this creates valid and whole data. So let's see in our HDFS, this is outputs. Let's refresh in outputs. So you can see hold. You can see just now 13 June and 1452, 253. This data is created. So all the whole data we are getting. And it should also create the valid data. Valid data is again we are creating. So for 5th June, we have got the hold and valid data. That means jobs are running perfectly. So either using this such manual commands, you can trigger the job and run into yarn. Now in next session, as we have not only one job, we have 3 jobs in total just to complete our end-to-end pipeline. In next session, we will see how we can orchestrate them and run them in sequence and manage the dependencies. As you know, our next job, enrich product reference, uses the output from our previous job. So output from daily data ingest will be input for enrich product reference. So we have to create a dependency that after this is completed, then we can run this. After this is completed, we have to run this and we have to schedule this daily. So we will see how we can do that in Apache Airflow. So make sure you do watch the Airflow session very carefully.